Welcome to Subhar's grammar class. So in the last class we started with auxiliary verbs. First in the list comes is, am, are, was and were, and we found them as primaries. Why? Because they can be used as independent verbs and also as auxiliary verbs. Is, am, are, was, were. These verbs can stand by themselves and also help other verbs. Such verbs are called primaries or primary auxiliaries. Let's first complete the list of primary auxiliaries. Is, am, are, was, were. And which other auxiliary verbs are to be included in the list of primary auxiliaries? Here is another three.
Do, does, and did.
These are auxiliary verbs. These auxiliary verbs can stand independently as well as help other verbs. Look at the example. They do it. In this sentence, they is subject. You know it is a pronoun. It is the object, and that word is also a pronoun. Do is the only verb in this sentence. Here, the verb do is not helping any other verb because the subject is a pronoun, object is also pronoun. So there are no other verbal forms to support. So do stands independently. Okay, look at the second sentence. He does it. He does it. Here he, a pronoun as subject, it, another pronoun as object. Does is the only verb. So the verb does stands independently. Look at the third sentence. They did it or he did it. They did it or he did it. In this sentence also, there is only one verb, that is did. And the verb did is not supporting any other verbal form. Got it? So in all the three sentences, do, does, and did are used as main verbs. They are used as independent verbs. Got it? Now look at another three. Go, goes, went. Just like do, does, did, go, goes, went. Look at the first sentence.
They go to school. They go to school. Suppose you are asked to rewrite the sentence into negative. How will you make it negative? You will have to add a not. But not will not stand with go. Why? Because go is a main verb. It's a lexical verb. So it will not take not. Not, the negative word not stands only with the auxiliary verb. So what we have to do is to split this verb go. And how will we split it? Look at it. Go means do plus go. Goes, does plus go. Went, did plus go. Take another example. Call, call, do plus call. Calls, does plus call. Called, did plus call. Play, play, do plus play. Plays, does plus play. Played, did plus play. If so, look at the sentence. They go to school. Go, do plus go. And we can add not with that auxiliary verb do. Do plus go. Do is auxiliary verb. We can add not to it. So they go to school. They do not go to school. Here, the word or the auxiliary verb do helps the root verb or the main verb go to split it. So do verbs are used to split verbs. In that way, they help lexical verbs. They help lexical verbs, or we can say main verbs. In that sense, they are auxiliary verbs.
Look at these two sentences. She goes to school. Here the verb is goes. It's a main verb. And we want to make that sentence negative. And for that we have to split the verb goes. And how do we split it? Does plus go. And does is auxiliary verb. So we can add not to it. So she does not go to school. She does not go to school.
Look at the sentence. They went to school. They went. Here, went is the verb. Look at the second
Sentence. They did not go to school. They did not go to school. So in order to make the first sentence negative, we split that verb. And how did we split the verb? Went means did plus go. And the did is auxiliary verb. We can add a not to it. So they did not go to school. They went to school, positive or affirmative. It's negative form. They did not go to school. And in order to add not, we split the verb went. And we got did plus go. We added not to it. Look at another set of verbs. Call, calls, called. Call, do plus call. Calls, does plus call. Called, did plus call. Now look at the sentence. They call me. They call me. And how can we make it negative? We have to split call, do plus call, add a note to it. They do not call me. They call me, they do not call me. So in order to make this sentence negative, we sought the help of do verb. She calls me. That's an affirmative sentence. The verb is calls. And if we want to make it negative, we have to split the verb calls. And we get does plus call. And we can add a note to it, does not call. She does not call me. They called me. Called is a verb. And that's an affirmative sentence. In order to make it negative, we have to split the verb called. And we get did plus call. We can add not to it. They did not call me. So they called me, they did not call me. Did is helping here. It's used as a helping verb or an auxiliary verb. Look at these sentences. The students return by bus. Here the verb is return. It's an affirmative sentence. And in order to make it negative, we have to split the verb return, do plus return. We can add a note to it. The students do not return by bus. Look at the next sentence. The student returns by bus. The student returns by bus. Returns, does return. We can add a note to it. The student does not return by bus. Look at the third sentence. The student returned by bus. Returned is the verb. Returned. Did plus return. We can add a note to it. The student did not return by bus. So here, do, does, and did help the verb return, returns, and returned. Do, does, and did, they stand as main verbs. So we can split them also. Do plus do. Does plus do. And did plus do. Do plus do. Does plus do. And did plus do. Look at these sentences. They do it. Affirmative sentence. Do plus do. They do not do it. He does it. Does plus do. He does not do it. They did it. Affirmative sentence. And its negative form. They did not do it. Did plus do. Did not do it. They did it. They did not do it. I hope all of you got it. Next comes have, has, and had. Look at the sentences. I have 10 cents of land. In this sentence, have is the verb. Here it is not helping any other verb. So it is used independently or it stands independently. Look at the next sentence. I have written to the manager. Wrote, written. It's past participle form. Past participle form is a non-finite form. I have already told you non-finite forms have no independent existence. So such non-finite forms need support. Here have is used as a support. I have written to the manager. So in this sentence have is used as auxiliary verb. He has many friends. He has many friends. Has is used as main verb. Look at the next sentence. He has invited me. Invited. V3. Non-finite form. It needs support. Auxiliary verb has is used to support it. So has is used as auxiliary verb. Look at the next sentence. They or he had two dogs. They had two dogs, or he had two dogs. Here, had is the only verb. It is not supporting any other verb. Look at the next sentence. They had sold the dogs. Sell, sold, sold. Sold is V3 form. Non-finite form. Had is supporting it. So, on analysis of these sentences, we find that have, has, and had can be used as independent verbs and also as helping verbs. The last in the list is need. I need your help. I need your help. In this sentence, need is an independent verb. It's a main verb, it's a lexicon verb. Look at the next sentence. You need not ask him to come. Need not ask. Need ask. Ask is the main verb, and need is used as an auxiliary verb. Here is the list of primary auxiliaries. Is, am, are, was, were. They are also known as be verbs. Be verbs. Is, am, are, was, were. Then comes do, does, did, followed by have, has, and had, and lastly need. 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1, 11 plus 1, 12. So in the next class, we can see the other side, the other branch of auxiliary verb, primaries and modals. We can learn modals in the next class. So that's all for the day. See you in the next class with another classification of auxiliary verbs. Bye.